Hi, I'm Alexandria Cavazos, and this is my audience. Today I will be informing y'all about Alzheimer's disease. According to the Alzheimer's Association, Alzheimer's disease, or AD, is the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. Over 5 million people have the disease, and every 68 seconds someone develops it. It is shown that 1 in 3 elderly persons will die from Alzheimer's. With those outrageous statistics, I think it is very important for everyone to know what the disease is, what are the risk factors, and what are the preventatives that you can take to avoid developing the disease. Let's start with defining the disease and all the effects it has on someone's life. Alzheimer's disease is a form of dementia or decline in mental ability. It is important to note that it doesn't just have to do with memory. AD has to do with the brain and it affects the signals between the nerve cells in the brain. The brain is made up of neurons that are constantly sending messages back and forth between each other through neurotransmitters. AD damages and slows the communication between these neurons and causes a decline in mental processes. The most common first sign of AD is trouble remembering newly learned information. This is because the part of the brain that experiences changes first due to Alzheimer's disease is the part of the brain that affects your learning. Alzheimer's also causes tissue damage in the brain. This typically shrinks the brain, further declining our mental capacities. I have this picture here that compares the healthy brain to a brain with advanced Alzheimer's disease. All of these changes in the brain can lead to loss of interest or problems participating in daily activities and personality changes. Now that you know the basics of what AD is, it's important to learn about the risk factors. There are no known causes of AD, but multiple risk factors have been found to increase the chances of developing the disease. Alzheimer's is not a part of normal aging, but your risk increases once you reach the age of 65. Once you reach the age of 85, your risk increases to about 50%. Family history of AD is also a known risk, and if you have more than one family member with the disease, your risk increases. Genetics also have the most to do with the development of AD. There are 2 types of genes that play a role. Risk genes, which are genes that may increase your chances of developing a disease, but they don't directly cause it. APOE, E4, is a risk factor gene for AD. And another type of gene is deterministic genes, which are genes that cause a specific disease. Genes that code for amyloid precursor protein, presenilin 1 and 2, are known to directly cause Alzheimer's disease. This is because those proteins cause blockages in your brain between the neurons. Risk factors are things that you typically have no control over, so let's discuss some things that you do have control over that you can do to help prevent the disease. It is important to know any cures or preventatives, and it all comes down to your personal wellness and management of other health conditions you may have. A strong link between head trauma and Alzheimer's has been found. Brain injury affects all brain cells, including neurons. Neurons are what we need to send messages to and from the brain, as I said earlier. The more neurons we have, the better chances we have of avoiding a mental decline. Also, any condition that affects the heart directly affects the brain. This is because your heart pumps about 1/5 of your blood to your brain. Damage to your heart or blood vessels will prevent your brain from getting the full amount of nutrients it needs to function properly. Other healthy measures can be taken to increase your overall health, will in turn reduce your risk of developing the disease. These involve maintaining your weight, avoiding tobacco and alcohol, staying social, and constantly working out your mind and body. Now that you know all the basics, let's review them. Alzheimer's is the first priority in medical research. This may be because it has no preventatives, no cures, and it cannot be slowed. The brain is the main focus when it comes to Alzheimer's, and it all comes down to the neurological connections and the messaging network. Most of the risk factors cannot be prevented, like age, family, history, and genetics, but when you take care of your mind and body, it is definitely good for your overall wellness, and it can lead to fewer problems in your older age. Raising awareness is important in making changes for the disease, and we together can find a cure. My resources include Alzheimer's Association website, the National Institute on Aging website, and a journal called The Neurobiology of Brain Injury by Peckna and Peckney. Thank you.